Hi, it's Barb Meeple, PhD, with another Cosmic Game Connection. Recently, astronomers found a group of stars that look like they are able to control how many new members join their group. This star cluster in question appears to have blown out material from its region, making it much harder for new stars to form. This cloud-filled region is an image of RCW 36. It's one of the closest sites of massive star formation to the Sun, and it clocks in at about 3,000 light years away. It contains a cluster of stars that's dominated by two O-type stars. These are massive stars that are at least 16 times the mass of the Sun. They're very bright and very hot. But in addition to these two behemoths, RCW 36 has at least another 350 smaller stars that are part of its cluster within a region about 3 light years across. For comparison, the nearest neighbor star to the Sun is about 4 light years away. So imagine 350 stars, including two behemoths that are like 16 times the mass of our Sun, between us and our nearest neighbor star, and that gives you an idea of how packed these star clusters are. Now, this star cluster, RCW 36, is embedded in a double-lobed region that is made up of super hot X-ray emitting plasma. Around the middle of that double lobe is a ring of cold gas, kind of like a belt cinched around your waist. And then outside the double lobe is cool gas, shells of cool gas that are moving outward. So what the researchers think is going on here is that winds of material are being blown off of those O-type stars. Our own Sun has a solar wind. When you get up to these O-type stars, that solar wind can be enormous. And so they think that in this system, those winds are pushing out material, causing the X-ray emitting plasma in there, and creating pressure that is then pushing all of this material outward, making those shells of cool gas also move away. And there's even a little leak out the back where a lot of the plasma is escaping, just slipping out the back from our perspective. And so what this is doing is it's decreasing the amount of material that is close by to these stars and making it much harder for future stars to form. Because as you know, what you want for star formation is a lot of material close together that can then start to gravitationally collapse on itself. When you've got stuff that's more spread out and moving away, it's much harder to do that. So in a way, these two O stars and their giant winds are making it more difficult for more stars to form and regulating how many stars can be a part of their group. So when I thought about this self-regulating star cluster, the game that came to mind was The Hunger. In The Hunger, players take on the role of vampires who are trying to amass the best group of humans they can while still returning to the castle before burning up in the sun. The Hunger is a deck-building game where players start the game with a little bit of speed in their deck. Speed is what players will use for both movement around the board, but also hunting new cards. And those cards can include humans, other vampire abilities for more speed or other special things to get you around the board, or even familiars. Now the humans are where you're going to get the most points in this game, so you're always looking to grab those along the way. But the problem is that humans slow you down. Typically they include 0 speed, and sometimes they have like 1 speed. But as the game progresses and you've hunted a lot of humans and you start getting more and more of them coming out each hand, you find yourself slowing down. And eventually that castle feels really far away and daybreak seems really close. And so at a certain point in the game, I find myself panicking and changing my strategy from hunting all the humans to hunting no humans or very selectively hunting. Just to make sure that I can get back to the castle, because if you don't get back to the castle, you get 0 points. And so it's that self-regulating part of this game where, there's a certain point that you want to make sure that you're very selective in what hunting you're doing. that had me thinking about RCW36 and the way its O-type stars are choosing to limit how many more stars can be made in their vicinity. So the next time you're playing the Hunger and you find yourself changing your strategy from hunting everything to hunting nothing, take just 1 second to think about RCW36 and its 2 O-type stars that are also regulating how many new neighbors they can have. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you know when my new videos come out. And leave in the comments below any questions you have about this game, or maybe this result made you think of a different game. I'd love to hear about that. You can find me on the internet as MaplePhD on Instagram and Twitter, and I have a blog at maplephd.com, and I'll see you next time.